What's up, guys? Welcome to Titan Talk Tuesday with me, John, CEO and owner of Titan Medical Center. So, usually I'm going live on my Titan Medical Center Instagram along with all the other channels, but I'm having a problem with my Instagram account as far as that goes for the lives. So, I'm going on the 2.0 page, and I've got one of my personal pages here on Facebook. TikTok is open for you guys. Also, we're on YouTube as well. Let's break it down, man. So, Halloween is coming. This last weekend, we got to do a Halloween costume party for charity for the 13 Young Men. Titan Medical Center was the stage sponsor, main sponsor of it. So at that point, we had a great time doing it. It was a great night, great costumes. You know, that's one thing I like to see is all the costumes when people come out and just see what people are going to dress up as, right? And it could be any superhero or anybody that anybody you want, or you can make up your own character. That's the cool thing about Halloween. So a lot of cool costumes. Love seeing them for sure. I mean, the costumes bring out everything. So it was good. Great night. Awesome. As far as people there, awesome crew came out, and a lot of Titan and Titanettes were out there. Our special Titanette models are rocking their Titanette nurse bikini outfits out there, which were fly for sure. And thank God we live in Florida, because anywhere else, if you live up north and it's October like this, it's kind of cold and rainy usually. So at that point, very happy about that. Big shout out to everybody on TikTok joining us in. I appreciate you guys, and anywhere else where you guys may be joining in at. So the other thing is Halloween blood work special. So for this, I wanted to extend not just this week, but next week too as well, all the way through October, so you guys can get the blood work special. Males, it's $130. It's usually $200, so you're getting a great discount. Females, it's $200. You have some extra tests on there. That's why it's a little bit more money, but it comes down from $300. So guys, girls, new patients, old patients, everybody is saving with this blood work special, which I love. I want people to be able to see what's going on inside their body, what may be off, what may be causing these issues or problems that you might be dealing with daily or masking with some sort of supplementation or energy drink or whatever it may be, right? So at that point, we really need to check about what's going on inside to really truly run like a diagnostics of ourselves and see, hey, listen, at night I can't sleep. So what may be causing that? Or I have low energy. What may be causing that? There's a lot of different things that hormones in particular drive, or, they're a precursor to deliver, I guess, the signal. And at that point, we want to make sure that we know what those are. But other things that people don't know that might be going on in their body, could be dealing with their thyroid or bad liver functions or kidney functions per se, or maybe PSA is on the rise for us guys. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can look at. Even when it just comes down to cholesterol, and knowing what that is, your good cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, your total cholesterol, and triglycerides. I mean, this can deal directly with your cardiovascular health. So it's really important. And cholesterol is not something that we should say, oh, get rid of all cholesterol, because your body does need a little bit of cholesterol. So Roman's Law, Cairo, what's going on? I hope all is well. So at that point, don't be fearful of cholesterol, but we got to make sure that we are eating the right foods and, getting the right kind of, good fat, I guess, in our body, instead of just bad fats or processed foods or fried foods. These are going to be negative things for your body. They're going to cause you a lot of downturn terminal health-wise, or a lot of downturn things that could lead to terminal health-wise. At that point, you got to just make sure you guys got these things in check, which it shouldn't be too hard if you really are paying attention about what you're eating. And that is by choice, and that is like denying cravings and such, which if you utilize some of the different medications, let's say you're obese. Now, I read today that by 2030, let's say by 2030, a fit body will be worth $1 million or like a rare Rolex. They're saying the next couple of years that majority of people will be obese or overweight. Now, we're already past 70% in this number, 70%. To put this in a retrospective so you can really understand 70%, 7 out of 10 people you put in a room will be obese or overweight currently. Now, in 2 years, they're saying 85 to 90%. Guys, this is crazy. Now, being, I think that I'm fit to a certain degree. And at that point, I know a lot of people that I surround myself with that are fit, that I would assume that, listen, they look pretty good. And I know what's going on the inside and the outside. So I'm not just looking about how they look on the outside, because it really does matter what's going on the inside and the outside, not just one or the other. I guess if you're healthy on the inside, I guess, on the outside, if you're not aesthetically pleasing, it is what it is, but at least you have your health. And that's something that really people can't buy if they're in really terminal health. So that's the big one, I guess. But the outside usually reflects the inside, okay? If you take care of yourself and you're working out, at that point, you're going to be able to look as good as you can. And hopefully you're going to be as healthy as you possibly can. And like I said, it all starts with diet. It stems with diet. It stems with you having exercise, drinking water, sleeping. These are the core essentials that everybody needs to master before they really talk about enhancement or really want to go down these different paths, possibly. Now, I know for a lot of people out there, and I haven't been in this boat, so I don't know. But I know there's people out there that have been obese or overweight since they've been, a little kid, right? A child. And at that point, they've grown up in this state. And that could be because of their parents, because maybe their parents were obese and overweight. They had a certain diet. And whatever the parents' diet is, the kid's diet's going to be. So when we look at that, we're like, all right, cool. What I'm eating, you're going to eat. So if they're eating bad food, they're passing this on to the kid. And the kid's going to do exactly what the parents are doing, and that's blow up, right? They're going to blow up over time. And at that point, you're going to be stuck with it, especially because maybe the family's not exercising, right? And at that point, there's no activity to get rid of those calories. And all calories are is energy. And it's stored energy in the body because the body says, hey, listen, we need to store this just in case we need to use it. And at that point, if it stores as fat. So, we don't really want to store those calories. We want to really burn those calories. Your daily limit of calories, you can actually calculate this, and you can say, hey, listen, I burn this many calories a day. Or you can just go by the general calories of what's usually burned by a regular person if you're average. And at that point, you can see, hey, listen, I need to do this every day. And if you do the same thing every day, you're going to burn the exact same calories. And if you're eating the exact same thing, you're going to be the exact same, right? You're not going to flip-flop. You're going to stay the exact same weight. If you influx these calories and you don't exercise and you don't, expend these calories, you're going to start gaining weight because it's going to start packing it on. If you go down in calories and stay down in calories, your body's going to start feeding off the fats in your body and using those as an energy source. This is really where it comes into play, like people that are intermediate fasting and such. The big thing is that we really want to talk about protein in that light too as well. Now, I'm here to answer all your questions. Let me answer some of these questions, and I'll get back to this if you guys want to talk about it more, but I thought it was pretty substantial to start talking about because I really want to get that information out there, especially with the 2030, a fit body worth $1 million or a rare Rolex. I mean, come on, a fit body? Everybody should have a fit body. All right, so let's answer this. Kyra said, just submitted my blood work Friday. Awesome. Do you have access to NAD? Absolutely. So you have access to NAD, whether it's an IV here in the beautiful Type Medical Center facility, or if let's say you're a patient and you're in Texas and you want to use it, or in Florida, I don't know where you're from. But at that point, you can get the vial of NAD and you can self-inject yourself. And this is really cool because you can get that daily dose. There's a lot of places out there that just push IVs for NAD, which you have to sit an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours. That's what they want you to do. That sucks. I don't care how comfortable the chair is and everything that's going on. You got to sit in there for 2 hours to get this. The best way to do it is by intramuscular injection with a little insulin needle. And at that point, you can adjust the dose so you get that daily kick in every single day if you want, or only utilize it when you need to. So this can be utilized for so many different functions and factions. When we talk about anti-aging, we talk about mental clarity, we talk about energy and ATP. And then you talk about protecting your DNA, right? And really getting into it. So there's a lot of different things that you can use NAD for, and NAD is the best, right? NAD is one of the top ones out there. It's a coenzyme. It's in every living cell in the body. Super cool, super cool. And I utilize it. It's one of the best. All right. So the Real Hoagie Pride, what's going on? The Real Hoagie Pride said, I just got my order AOD. AOD 9604, another awesome peptide that I utilize myself. And a lot of other people do too. So at this point, we do have it by injectable and oral, I believe. But the injectable is what I use. And I think the injectable works substantially well. I mean, as far as, burning calories that are in the body and utilizing those calories as fuel. AOD is 176 amino acid sequence out of the 191 that's in human growth hormone. That's right. But you don't get any of the human growth hormone function as far as growth, raising IGF-1 levels, and you also don't get any of the negative side effects like, raising sugar levels possibly, or any of the other effects that might happen. So at that point, you're just going to get the weight loss function of the sequence in growth hormone. Super cool, man. Super cool. And it's a peptide. It's very tolerable. There's no contraindication as far as medication-wise. It's not a stimulant. So this is good for people that do have cardiovascular issues or disease, and they can't use, let's per se, ECAs. This might be a route they can utilize. Or GLP-1s, obviously. Semaglutide, tirzepatide. I mean, these are very, very strong ones that people can utilize. But, I think AOD has its place. And AOD can be utilized with tirzepatide or semaglutide. So it's something you can combine. But at that point, I think if somebody wanted to lose 5-10 pounds, maybe AOD is the way to go. If they're talking about 20, 30, 40 and up, I think that semaglutide or tirzepatide might be the way to go. But that is something that you would talk about with the medical provider from Type Medical. And don't worry if you're not here in Tampa, Florida. We can do telemedicine, so it'll be a visit that is recorded. It's a video visit. You see them, they see you. You hear them, they hear you. You know who you're talking to. You know it's a real medical provider. I know a lot of places out there here that are taking phone calls, and doing the visits over the phone. Phone, that's a no-no. You want to know who you're talking to and make sure that it's a medical provider for sure that's giving you the advice that what you're going to be doing to your body or injecting in your body or taking. So it's very important. I hear they're taking them away soon. So they might be, it's on the list as far as that goes. I mean, it's really, really tricky. Some pharmacies are still making it for us, obviously. And some things have came off, like CJC and such. So I'm very, very happy about some of these different peptides still being produced because I utilize them, and I've utilized them for years and years. And I know other patients have too, and they've got great benefits from them. So for them to try to take it away would suck. We don't want that. We definitely don't want that. So, yeah, it's been pretty good. So, guys, if you're just joining us, blood work special, I want to make sure you guys understand that. $130 for guys, $200 for females. There's more tests on the female panel. That's why it's more expensive. But we're talking about really in-depth testing. And when I go through this, let's just break it down. And I want you to compare, because a lot of people can say it's in-depth testing, or it's extensive testing, or it's a full panel. That's the key word. A full panel. What tests do you get in a full in-depth panel, or full panel, or however you want to word it? And this is really where you want to start looking into when you start signing up for blood testing. You want to see exactly what you're going to get blood panel-wise. And this is something that might look like a foreign language to you that you really don't understand. But I'm going to give you some of the keys so you guys can go and unlock these locks without having any problems, or looking at it and maybe understanding a little bit more, because that is what I want you guys to pick up on, is the stuff that I'm throwing down for you guys so you can utilize it for yourself. And you won't need to come back at some instances. I'm always going to give you guys great tips, but you guys can look at some of these things and have some understanding, and not just have to have blind faith in the medical provider telling you you're A-okay, when you might not be A-okay, or you might be low on something, but you're not deficient, so you're A-okay. This is something that you need to take charge of. It's your health, and be preventative about your health and knowing what's going on with your health instead of waiting until something breaks and then you're like, uh-oh. And then you find out something else is broken. Then you're like, uh-oh. It just keeps going down that rabbit hole, and you start having that domino effect of negative things that will happen health-wise. All right? All right, Roman's off. Been with Titan for about 2 years. I feel great. Thank you, John. I appreciate you, Roman. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that we're helping you out, man. I'm glad that you're feeling good. I mean, that's really what it's all about. We're here a little small time on this earth. And at that point, we should have the quality of life those days all the way through and through. Some days will be better than others, and the majority of your days should be good. You know, if you're having a majority of bad days, then you want to start changing that. Something's going wrong, and at that point, find out what it is and make the change. Start chipping away at it one way or the other. Then you guys will get good. Rich Muller and Miguel Miller, how you guys doing? I hope all is well to everybody else out there on TikTok. If you guys got any questions, shoot them out to me. I'd love to answer any of you guys' questions that I have on here. Let me see if there's any on Type Medical 2.0. Is that Type Medical 2.0 right there? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I got TikTok. All right. So listen, let's talk about one more peptide, and I'll let you guys go after this. All right. Tesofensine. Okay. So tesofensine, I've been getting a lot of questions. What is tesofensine? Because we're doing a Titan trim package, and that trim package has tesofensine in it. And a lot of people are like, what is that? So let's start breaking down what tesofensine is. Tesofensine is a triple uptake inhibitor. So dopamine, serotonin, these are main things. It also is going to help curb appetite with salty or sugary items mostly. So this is what we usually crave, right? Sugary items, salty items that people really want to go for. It's going to curb that appetite, and it will help with energy expenditure. Sorry about that. But, this will give you natural energy, not a stimulant form of energy. So this is a good one too. And this one can be taken with majority of our other therapies. Now, there are some contraindications. So, antidepressants or anything like that, if you're on these things, there could be some different things that could be contraindicated with taking this medication. That is what the medical provider is going to go over, and that's what we're going to look for in your new patient paperwork to make sure that you qualify for. So at that point, you guys can know, can I get this, can I not get this, and we'll make sure that we understand what's going on in your medical history to kind of determine that. And at that point, the medical provider will be able to go over this in your visit with you and talk about some of the different options, and maybe this one might not fit. There's other things that we have in our tool belt that will help you get the results you're trying to get. So at that point, you just need to be honest with the provider as far as what you're trying to get goal-wise or what you're trying to achieve. That's what it's all about. And some people, it's just about, hey, I just want to have energy back. Or I just want, I want to have better mental clarity. Some people are really, I want to be preventive about my health. They want to do some sort of anti-aging treatment. It's really up to the patient of what journey they want to go down, and we're going to help them and guide them down that journey, give them the necessary tools to hopefully achieve whatever the goal is, right? Whether it's to gain some lean muscle or to lose some pounds or to have better performance in the bedroom per se, or get that libido back for males and females. It just doesn't go from male side. Females are there too. At that point, it always takes two to tango, usually. So, whatever your fancy is, at that point, you guys can look at. But tesofensine is a capsule. It's an oral therapy too as well. I didn't get to that. So if you guys don't like injectables, tesofensine might be a good one for you. And there's two different doses. There's a low dose and a high dose. And the staff will be happy to go over all that information with you when you call or text us at 727-389-3220. At that point, guys, I'm going to leave off here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you joining me and sticking around and just getting the little tidbits I'm throwing out there. But blood test, full in-depth panel. The guys, before I leave, a CMP, a comprehensive metabolic panel, right? The main highlights of this panel, there's going to be different ones in there, but the main highlights you should look for are liver functions, kidney functions, and fasting glucose. So what are those things to look at? So when you look at ALT and AST, those are your liver functions on your blood test. Look at those numbers. Now, when you see those numbers, usually if they're out of range, the lab will highlight it and be like, it'll either put an H or an arrow going up. And you'll see like a reference range too, like 0 to 44, whatever it may be. When you see that, then you can look at that and be like, okay, well, I'm at a 50, so I'm out of range, obviously. That's not good, but that's something that can be fixed very easily. But if you say, all right, well, I'm 20, so that's good. All right, you're 20 and 20 in ALT/AST, great. If you're high, then you can fix that. Call us. We'll take care of you. Kidney functions, EGFR, bun creatinine, not creatine, creatinine. So look at those three, and those will determine kidney functions. Now, A lot of people are in like stage 2 of chronic kidney disease and they don't even know it. And you're like, what? Whoa. So we're talking about like 90, right? And a lot of people come back. I'm like in 80s right now. So I'm right there. And at that point, you need to look at that and determine where you fall. A lot of people fall at 59. If you fall below 59, this is not good, and you better start changing something, whatever it is, to fix your kidney functions because they're going down. And at that point, you don't want them to keep going down because that's going to cause you to have to go on dialysis if they get too low and then need a kidney transplant because, yeah, you have 2 kidneys, but you know what? When you start having kidney problems, it affects both of them in your body. So, you have to get something that would fix that, and only a new kidney would. So just remember that. Be cautious and know your blood work and drink water. Hydrate. That will be the best thing for your kidneys, especially before blood tests. Make sure you're drinking a ton of water. Also, another big tip before a blood test, don't do any strenuous exercise. If you do strenuous exercise, this could skew some different results like kidney functions too as well. So I would stay away from those 2 things 24 hours. Well, I would drink water all day, but I would stay away from exercising. And if you've had prostate issues, PSA issues, I would stay away from ejaculation for at least 24 to 48 hours because this could enlarge that and skew the result. So at that point, you know these things right off the bat. The next thing you're going to look for is a CBC, a comprehensive, a CBC is a blood panel basically looking at white blood cell count. It's a complete blood cell count. That's what CBC stands for. But it looks at white blood cell count, red blood cell count, hemoglobin, hematocrit, and these are the main things that we're looking at in this panel. That's the main things a lot of providers are looking at. There could be some different things that might be off in that panel other than that. But the main meat and potatoes when you really start looking at that is those things. And white blood cell count can determine if maybe you have an infection. Red blood cell count is going to just determine how many red blood cells you have, right? And this can get high with hemoglobin, hematocrit. And when these 3 get high, this could cause health issues like DVTs, blood clots, strokes that you don't want, right? And at that point, this can be leveled out if these things are high with a therapeutic blood dump or donation of blood. You might need multiple donations or blood dumps. It just depends on where that level's at and what you test out at the next time. So really look at these things, especially if you're on TRT or HRT. You need to look at this, all right? And I'm saying this to Brian right here. Cut this as a clip. You need to look at this. Complete blood cell count. If you're on testosterone or any androgen, red blood cell count, hemoglobin, hematocrit. Look at these 3 things because these 3 things are going to tell you if your blood is too thick and if you're at a higher risk for a DVT, blood clot, or a stroke. So make sure you're checking a CBC. Tight Medical Center can do blood work nationwide for you guys. Call or text 727-389-3220 to see what's going on inside your body. So, yeah, I like that. But these are different things you need to look at. So next thing on the list, let's say it's guys, is a PSA. Now, girls, you're not going to have a prostate, so don't worry about this. But a PSA is going to say, hey, listen, what is the prostate looking like here? Now, if the prostate number comes back over 4, you might have some issues going on. Now, this could be an infection. It could be, an enlarged prostate for some other issue or reason, or it could be prostate cancer possibly in the stage 1 setting. So this is something you really need to look at. And the only way that they're going to be able to determine this, once you get a blood test, let's say it comes back at 10. This is kind of a word of concern. We want to make sure we take care of this right away. And they're going to, they're going to check. And at that point, they might even do a biopsy. And I know people that have came back at really high levels, and we got very scared for them. And at that point, they had to get a biopsy, but the biopsy came back positive. Like it's not positive as far as cancer, but in a positive way. So at that point, we were like, all right, cool. This guy is still able to continue. And we got, a letter from the physician that he was, getting checked by saying that it was okay to restart his current treatments. These are things that you want to really look at right off the bat for guys. Prostate cancer is on the rise. Make sure we're looking at it. Next thing after that, we want to look at cholesterol, right? So we want to look at total cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL, which is good cholesterol, LDL, which is bad cholesterol, and overall your HDL versus LDL, your ratio there. So these things are going to correlate, what it looks like as far as what's going on inside. And this is really important to look at too, because, if you're eating a certain diet and you fast before your blood test, so we get a right result. And these things come back out of range or out of whack. We need to change the diet. And you might need to start exercising or doing some other things to improve these numbers because it's really important. Or else you go on the medication wagon. And who wants to go on all those medications? Nobody does. And those medications have negative side effects that are going to cause other things that might be, going wrong in the future. So, the best thing to do is the all natural way, and that's change the diet to exercise. I've thoroughly pushed that, and I pushed that before any therapy or anything else. I love Titan. I love our therapies, but they're tools, and they help, get back to where you should be. But don't use them as a crutch. Change the lifestyle. Change the lifestyle, and you'll change your life. I mean, it really is. So, that's really I really want to brand in your brains. If you're not doing it, do it for sure. Dave Delgado and Steve Kelly, what's going on, guys? I went to my personal page today for this one, so I'm getting some more of my personal friends on there. I appreciate it. It's Mars Attack from the day forward. All right, so what else is going to be on there? So we're going to look at thyroid, T3, T4, TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone. We want to make sure thyroid's good and everything's in order. Thyroid is another thing that directs so many different things in the body as far as function-wise and can have a big effect, whether losing weight, gaining weight, losing hair. There's just so many different things that the thyroid controls. So at that point, you need to have harmonic balance inside the body with all the hormones and everything coinciding together and working properly and optimized. All right. So after that, we're going to look at free and total testosterone levels. Who doesn't like free and total testosterone levels? Says nobody, because free and total testosterone determine a lot of different things in the body, and not just male bodies, female bodies too as well. And I'm not talking about females trying to transition. I'm talking about females that are normal females that just want energy and they want libido and they want their brain to have good mental clarity too as well. Because, when we talk about testosterone, a lot of people go back to the stereotypical thing. And what is the stereotypical thing? The stereotypical thing is, you're on steroids. And it's like, oh, okay. But we all have this steroid in our body called testosterone. That's funny. And at that point, testosterone, you're going to die. Or, there's so many different things with testosterone. So at that point, we need it. And it does a lot of different things. And it's not just about libido with testosterone. That's a lot of different things that guys think that, my libido is good. I'm still having sex. So my testosterone should be good too as well. And they find out that their testosterone is not too good. Their free is pretty good. And that's why they're utilizing the testosterone they have left to do that. But when you have everything optimized, then it's even better. So at that point, they're like, oh man, I wish I knew about this earlier and did this. So, I would just make sure that you're testing that every year. If you're a guy, if you're a girl, because things can change within a year, especially with testosterone ranges. It's just really crazy. Things can mess with your testosterone ranges. There's a lot of different things that we apply to our body or intake-wise, orally, that can have negative impacts, or even clothes that we wear. Some of them, with EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals, look it up. It's in every single brand. Even brands I still wear today, I knowingly know that these brands have these things in them, and their body does absorb them because there's studies on it. And, you still wear them. Nike, Adidas, what's the other brand? I don't know, all of them. All of them that are dry fit. Let's just talk about that, dry fit. And then if you're wearing girls, if you're wearing Shein and all that, ooh, why do you think it's so cheap? Anyway, off the rant. Let me go back to estradiol. For males, we're going to check estradiol. For females, we're going to check estradiol and total estrogens in there. And we're going to check progesterone for both males and females too as well. These things all need to be in check. And IGF-1 levels, so insulin-like growth factor 1, which is your growth hormone levels, essentially. Want to check that, make sure that's good. And we're checking B12 levels. That's the only vitamin we really check on there as far as that goes. But we can do more in-depth testing for amino acids and other vitamins. And vitamin D is an important one we can throw on there. I think, because there's a lot of people that come back vitamin D deficient. So majority of people, even me, would come back vitamin D deficient. I'm out in the sun almost every single day in Florida. I'm not at the beach, I wish, but at that point, I'm still getting sunlight, and I'm definitely going out, some of the days and getting some good sun on my face and on my body, and at that point, still not absorbing what I need to or converting like I need to. I don't know what the problem is. But at that point, I am supplementing vitamin D, which I have a good vitamin D level now. And vitamin D is another important one because vitamin D is actually a hormone. So this is something that you need and utilize every single day in your body. And at that point, you need to have it. Okay, so that's it as far as the blood testing goes. So take advantage of the special. It's going through Halloween. Call or text 727-389-3220. And I'll be back next Tuesday for another Titan Talk Tuesday with me, John, CEO of Titan Medical Center. And if you guys want to tune in and hear me talk some more, I'm going to go on Michael Hearn's YouTube at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, 22 minutes? I'm going to go get a meal in real quick. And then I'm going to get on with him for 45 minutes, and then I got to leave, and I got to go see my son play baseball. Peter is a varsity pitcher, and he's pitching tonight. So that's my day. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Titan Talk Tuesday with me, John, CEO of Titan Medical Center. Thanks, everybody, on my personal page, too.